Hey friends, and welcome back to Science with Kennen. This week we're going to finish up our three-part series over the science of drinking alcohol by talking about hangovers, and hopefully, how to avoid them.
Oh, my head hurts.
Oh, I'm sure it does, but don't you want to know why?
Not really. I just want you to shut up and go away.
Well, too bad, 'cause I do, and it's my show. So let's go check it out. Allow me to start off by saying, scientists still don't know all the reasons that cause a hangover, but we have come up with at least 3 factors that definitely contribute to that day after dilemma. These 3 factors include dehydration, a molecule known as acetaldehyde, and a group of chemicals found in alcohol called Congeners. Now that first one, dehydration, is probably the reason you most commonly hear is to blame for those nasty hangovers. And you didn't hear wrong. You see, as we talked about last week, the ethanol in alcohol interferes with a hormone in our bodies known as vasopressin. Without vasopressin, your kidneys are instructed to release all the excess water that they have instead of reabsorbing it. This leads to what we know as the curse of breaking the seal.
Oh no, I gotta pee again.
According to some sources, for every 250 mils of alcohol that you drink, your body can get rid of as much as 1 liter's worth of water. That's a lot of urine. That means that your body could be getting rid of nearly 4 times the amount of water as the amount of liquid it's even bringing in. Now that's a recipe for dehydration. All this water loss comes with a toll the next day, as your organs, desperate for water, start pulling it from wherever they can, including your brain. This causes the cells in your brain to shrink. As the tissues in our brain shrink, it pulls on that membrane that attaches our brain to the inside of our head. This pulling and straining is what we experience as that pulsing and throbbing headache the next day.
Oh, I feel it.
As if that weren't good enough, our little friend ethanol has another trick up its sleeves for us.
What? You mean there's more to this?
Oh yeah, if you remember from the first part of our series, the ethanol is broken down in our liver into a harmless substance called acetate. But before it can be changed to that, it first has to be converted into this intermediate molecule called acetaldehyde. It turns out, acetaldehyde is actually way more toxic to us than just ethanol on its own. Luckily for us, it's normally broken down pretty quickly in our liver. However, when we drink too much, our livers can actually become overwhelmed, allowing for more of this toxic acetaldehyde to build up and run rampant throughout our bodies. Studies have shown that even a moderate amount of acetaldehyde can result in the symptoms of a hangover, including severe headaches, nausea, and even vomiting. In fact, some doctors even prescribe a medication called disulfiram to alcoholics. This prevents their bodies from breaking down acetaldehyde, which exacerbates the results of their hangovers, even before they're done drinking. The idea is that they'll get such bad hangovers that it'll convince them that they never want to drink again.
Great. So the ethanol and alcohol pretty much just sucks all around.
Kind of, sort of, but not as bad as this last group of chemicals that scientists have found in alcohol. These things are called congeners. Now, a congener is just any chemical impurity that you find outside of the desired ethanol in your alcohol. Congeners are normally added to alcohol during the aging and fermenting period. These things are normally what give alcohols their smells, flavors, and color. Congeners include anything that's not ethanol, from tannins, like you find in wines, to less wanted things, such as acetone, which is used as a paint thinner, or even a more toxic form of alcohol called methanol. These congeners, and methanol in particular, are leading suspects in the cause of our hangovers. Darker drinks, such as whiskeys, brandies, and wines, have more congeners in them than their lighter counterparts, like vodka and gin. In fact, a study done out of Brown University, aptly named Intoxication of Bourbon versus Vodka, showed that 33% of people who drank bourbon ended up with severe hangovers, versus only 3% of those who drank vodka. This could be attributed to the fact that bourbon has 37 times more congeners in it than vodka. While these congeners are nasty, it's suspected that methanol may be the most brutal of them all. It turns out methanol is actually broken down by the same proteins that break down ethanol in our bodies. The catch is, this means that the methanol can't be broken down until first the more abundant ethanol is all gone. This delay in metabolism actually might explain why you don't get a hangover until after you're already done being drunk. This could also help explain, at least in part, why the hair of the dog, as it were, or as I like to say, the cause is the cure, actually might have some truth to it. By adding more ethyl alcohol into your system, you force your liver to confront that before addressing that nasty methanol. But you can't stay drunk forever, and eventually those congeners will catch up to you, and with a vengeance. Okay, so dehydration, acetaldehyde, and congeners may be what cause a hangover, but is there a way to get rid of one, or even better yet, avoid it completely? Well, as of yet, there aren't any scientifically proven miracle hangover cures. But I'm praying for the day. But I do have a few tips that might just help to tame the beast. For starters, never drink on an empty stomach. In fact, it's best to drink on a full stomach filled with a diet full of fats and starches. The fats will slow down digestion and the rate of absorption of alcohol in your system, allowing your liver more time to break it down at a regular rate, while the starches will provide more sugar to keep your blood sugar regular during your drinking. That's why I always like to start my nights out with a big old juicy burger full of fatty primo protein meat and a starchy bun with a nice little tomato for sugars. And while you're out drinking, try alternating each alcoholic beverage with a glass of water or juice. This will slow down your rate of consumption, allowing your body more time to break down those toxins, while at the same time helping to keep you hydrated while staying engaged. Lastly, you may want to try taking some aspirin with Pedialyte or a Gatorade before going to bed. This can help replenish some of the electrolytes you lost throughout the night, while at the same time proactively alleviating any inflammation or headaches you may have the next day.
But obviously, the best way to avoid a hangover is to simply avoid drinking in the first place.
But even if you tried all of these tips and you still find that you have a hangover, the only tried and true cure to one is to just give it time. However, if you're still looking for a home remedy, I've found that cold orange juice and hot and salty green beans. Yeah, it's a weird one, but they tend to do the trick for me. Well, thanks for watching, and I hope you learned something. Until next time, stay awesome and keep curious, friends.